One thing I forgot to say in the last video, Command 1. If you're looking at this at actual size, Command 1, and you're looking at it like that, that's because 2000 pixels is a little bigger than your screen. You can hit Command 0. View fit on screen, I think is what it's called. View fit on screen, Command 0. There it is. And don't worry, see this little kind of checkerboard thing showing there? It's because Photoshop is at some weird percentage. If you hit Command minus, it'll go down. Yours will probably go to 67% or maybe 50%. I don't know. Photoshop likes these numbers, 67, 50, 33. You know, see if I keep going down, I'm going to hit 67, 50, 33, 25, you know. So Photoshop likes these certain percentages of actual size. I'm going to work at actual size. You're going to be working at something smaller than actual size, okay? Don't be put off if you see something along the edge. That's no problem. Okay, so now you have to analyze your own image. For me, on a black background, if I turn this background off, remember, I have these black elements right here that aren't showing up. So if I turn this back on, and what can I do to make that show up? Well, one of the things I can do is invert, Command I. Is it under image? I should have looked. No. If you don't know where something is, and I don't know where this command is because I just use adjustments, invert. So where was it? If you hover over, it's going to show you. So it's image adjustments, invert. Okay, so cool. That shows us where that is. Image adjustments, invert. And that's for me. I want to be able to see that. And hey, these colors work for me. I can still change them radically, but that gives me a little layer because I'm working on a smart object. This is not permanent. This is done outside the smart object, so I can always change it. Now, I want to make a new layer, and then I want to merge everything visible on that new layer. And I want to do something to that layer. Now, I can click the new layer icon. Well, I might as well do it this way because this is how you're gonna do it. I use a keyboard shortcut for this, but this next step is not in any menu. It's not in any little hamburger menu. Photoshop in the history panel is going to say stamp visible. But what this actually does is it merges it merges everything that's visible onto one layer. Okay, so there's no other way to do it than to do it this way. Shift, Option, Command, E for everything. Okay, Shift, Option, Command, E. And the reason I made a new layer is sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't without making a new layer. And so I just do it that way because, you know, it's the safe way to work. And I don't have to explain the nuances of what you have to do. This works every single time. Now, I want to find the edges. I want to be able to delineate those edges with lines. And because this is not, it won't work on a smart object, it will work on these pixels here. We go Filter, Stylize, and I've set a shortcut for this as well. See, Find Edges. And when you click on this, you get just the edges, not the fills. And here's where blending modes come in. We could do it with opacity too. Watch this, opacity. If I hit the number 5, it goes to 50% opacity. 220. If I hit 0, it goes back to 100. 0, 0 is 0%. Okay? Or you can click right here and pull this opacity slider. But that's not what I'm going to do. Fill is very different than opacity. The blend modes, right here. With the Move tool active, it works with a few other tools too, but stick with the Move tool. you can go through these and manually clunk, clunk, clunk. But what if you held down the shift key and clicked on plus up there by the 0? Look at the numbers at the top of the keyboard. There's a minus sign and a plus sign. A plus sign goes forward. Command Z. That's because I had that dialog box active. Now, without the opacity active, shift plus takes me to the next blend modes. Notice these blend modes turning. They're going forward. And if I hit the minus sign, they go backwards where we already came from. So now it's up to you to season to taste. And typically, just those first few, and then nothing happens until you get out to overlay and soft light. And then again, you don't get anything really worthwhile until you get down to divide. Well, you get these, which, we're back to a white background. And then divide. Divide gives us these lighter lines, and soft light gives us, pale colors with edges, and then darken, multiply, color burn, linear burn. These give you different variations. And now, which is the right one? There is no answer to that. You got to pick what works for you. I'm going to go ahead and go back, check out soft light. I think I can do some neat things with soft light. So I'm going to stick with that. You pick whatever works for you, and then at the end, let's make a new layer and merge it. Shift, Option, Command E. You're going to practice that again and again and again, and then Command S to save, and our document is saved.